morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, April 14th at 6:21 a.m. Eastern Time. My name is Brian, and we are in the center of the aisle. Open source intel reports Trump's blockade is being hailed by supporters after Trump forces reportedly downed an Iranian surveillance drone and intercepted two tankers allegedly sailing under false flags toward China. Go figure. Jesse Waters, one of the Iran's surveillance drones, flew too close to one of our destroyers and we blew it out of the sky. Two tankers flying under false flags on their way to China were already intercepted and turned away. This is completely reversing everything Iran did to the Strait. Now every nation ship in the world can sail out except Iran's. The regime threatened to attack if America's ships entered. We did it anyway, and they did nothing. This is coming from Jesse Waters at Fox. And according to open source intel, China's not real happy with the United States. Beijing slams the U.S. with China FM spokesperson Zhu Jikan calling the Hormuz blockade a dangerous and irresponsible move, warning it will only aggravate confrontation and further jeopardize navigation. But it wasn't dangerous for Iran to do the same thing with other ships. As long as China's ships are moving in and out with oil, nobody else is in danger. But if we stop all ships, except for the ones that are coming from something other than Iranian oil, it's funny how they speak up when they need help. They're hurting, they're struggling. Another post Donald J. Trump posted on Truth Social, Chinese spokeswoman to the U.S., the Strait of Hormuz was already open before the war. The cause of this disruption is your military operations against Iran. China receives a significant share of its oil imports through this route, making any disruption in the region a major concern for its energy security and broader economic stability. So let's read this one more time. Making any disruption in the region a major concern. Making any disruption in the region a major concern. So it wasn't a disruption when you were getting your oil. It's just a disruption when you're not getting it. I mean, any disruption would be any oil tanker not being able to use it. Wow. How people see things sometimes. Mossad commentary, within 10 to 14 days, Iran could reach a breaking point. Its oil storage capacity will fill, forcing wells to shut down. Once production stops, restarting becomes harder and long-term damage begins to set in. So they can go for like 10 to 14 days, then their oil reserve starts getting too high because they're not getting rid of any. It's staying there, which means no money's coming in either. They're going to be hurting here shortly. They already are, but this is coming from Mario Naval. Everyone talking about the blockade, here's what it actually looks like to enforce one. The U.S. can't park aircraft carriers in a 21-mile wide strait. Instead, it relies on guided and layered positions, Virginia-class submarines hunting silently beneath the surface, and robotic minesweepers to clear Iran's sea mines without putting sailors in the water. Iran's counter is a swarm of fast attack boats capable of surrounding a cargo ship from 360 degrees, coastal missile launchers hidden inside mountain bunkers, and tethered mines dropped directly in the ship's path. Mixed in with sea boats are remote-controlled suicide vessels packed with explosives. The U.S. answer to the swarm is A-10s tearing boats apart with depleted uranium rounds and Apache helicopters firing Hellfire missiles at sea level. And if Iran's mobile missile launchers roll out of their bunkers, Tomahawk strikes are already queued up before they even get off the missile. This is not a clean operation. Military analysts have called it the most complex naval challenge since World War. Mario Naval again. A second round of U.S.-Iran talks is expected Thursday, potentially in Islamabad or Geneva. An Iranian vessel entered the international waters, reportedly testing the U.S. naval blockade after warnings from Trump. The U.S. Navy is assembling a major mine-clearing force with Avenger-class ships from Japan and an LCS from Singapore heading toward the region. Vice President Vance accused Iran of economic terrorism over threats of global shipping in the Straits of Hormuz. We haven't seen any of these speedboats yet. We haven't had to shoot one yet. We've been pecking them off one by one, I think, with the bombing campaign. The blockade is reportedly costing Iran $400 million per day as oil storage capacities tighten. Saudi Arabia is privately urging the U.S. to scale back the blockade, warning it could trigger a full shutdown of the Gulf oil flows. The USS George W. Bush carrier strike group is sailing around Africa to avoid the Red Sea due to elevated risk of the Houthis shutting down that area. That would be a very confrontational area, I believe, and I think that may be what they're waiting to do. Iran's Navy is laying at the bottom of the sea. This is according to President Donald Trump on Truth Social about 20 hours ago. Iran's Navy is laying at the bottom of the sea, completely obliterated. 158 ships. What we have not hit are their small number of what they call fast attack ships, because we did not consider them much of a threat. Warning, if any of these ships come anywhere close to our blockade, they will be immediately eliminated using the same system of kill that we use against drug dealers. It is quick, brutal. P.S. 98.2% of drugs coming into the U.S. by ocean or sea have stopped. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT, Donald J. Trump. The man loves missiles. Okay, we're going to take a little bit more of an educational look at NATO here, which I found quite interesting. It's the NATO Atlantic Treaty, obviously. Allies must invest at least 2% of their GDP on defense with a target of 5% by 2035. A collective defense is Article 5. Allies agree that an armed attack against one or more. Article 5 pretty much states allies that agree that an armed attack against one or more of them is an attack against all and commit to taking necessary action to assist the member attacked. Defense spending and investment. Allies are committed to invest at least 2% of their GDP on defense as of recent pledges, and at least 20% of their defense budget on major equipment. So if 2% goes to military investment, 20% of that 2% has to be on equipment and capabilities. Another important one that we have to understand is that all allies work to ensure their military forces can operate together effectively by adopting common technical standards and communication protocols. So they're upset because Donald Trump didn't let them know he was going to bomb Iran. They don't want to help because of it. We don't want to leave our troops there to help you or invest the trillions of dollars that we invest with you either. But we did it. And I don't think Donald Trump's going to do it anymore. I think they're coming out. So hopefully we get to what I think we believe is going to be a different North Atlantic Treaty or Greater North American Treaty. Possibly, I think I heard it called. I don't think we're done with Greenland yet. So somewhere in there, they're going to add in Greenland and figure out something to do with these people that don't want to comply, like Europe. Europe doesn't really even have a military to help. So, and then you got Starmer over in the UK, who's all about talk and no action. He wants to put together a an allies coalition for diplomacy and help them out on the defensive front. And they're going to listen to that, Starmer. You can tell how much you've dealt with Iran. None. So, as of right now, we are still blockading the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is still losing tons of money. China is extremely unhappy with this because it hurts China more. They're really struggling. And Xi Jinping, or however we pronounce his name, he's supposed to be meeting with Trump shortly, and he's afraid that's not going to happen. He's not going to be able to ask Trump what's going on and what he can do to help, even though he knows what he can do. He can call Iran, and you know he's got him on speed dial, and say, look, get rid of the nukes. Do what they say. We need your oil because the U.S. oil is expensive. Hey, sorry about your luck. You guys have taken and taken and taken from us, the United States of America, forever. And it's about time you started paying that back. So with that being said, I am out.